The shocking story, a missing pet found taped up and wrapped in a bag. We'll talk to the man who rescued the animal.
Plus, 2 area teens are dead after their car crashes into a pole. How their closest friends are reacting.
Quiet for 2 days, some wet weather for Saturday.
Join us at 11.
News 10 is next.
Live from WTEN, this is News 10 at 11 on the news station.
A dog missing for nearly 3 weeks is found dumped in the woods, covered in duct tape and wrapped in a garbage bag.
Tonight, we talk with the man who found the dog struggling to survive. Good evening, everyone. I'm Christina Arangio.
And I'm Steve Ammerman. Tonight, that dog is alive and recovering thanks to the hunter who found the helpless beagle. That dog found in the woods off Drager Road in Providence. That's in northern Saratoga County.
And now the beagle's owners and the man who rescued it want to know who could have done such a terrible thing to an innocent animal. We want to warn you, the pictures may be disturbing for some.
I wasn't sure it was going to live. My first thought was it made me sick that some person could actually do this to any kind of an animal, much less a beagle, a defenseless beagle.
Here you can see the dog's whole head wrapped and covered in duct tape, making it impossible for the beagle to hear or see. And the animal could hardly breathe with just a small hole cut out around the nose. Ed Danderaw had been hunting for deer on his property in Providence, and he saw something moving in a black bag. These pictures were taken after Danderaw removed much of the bag the dog was wrapped and taped up in, so it couldn't break free. A deliberate act of animal cruelty. Danderaw called his hunting buddies over and they got help from police, but it didn't look good. Then suddenly, after tickling the dog's nose, he started to move again. Danderaw says he hadn't been to that swampy area in 3 years, but believes he was meant to be there this weekend.
When I found out this dog was going to make it, when the vet told us this dog was going to make it, I was ecstatic. I believe divine intervention had me go over there in that swamp that day for whatever reason and to find that dog. That dog needed help from people.
And it's not clear how long the dog had been in the woods, likely not long. The beagle even collapsed in Danderaw's arms before it suddenly perked up again. As we said, the beagle is okay and back with his owners. They did not want to be identified. Anyone with information on this case is urged to call the Saratoga County Sheriff's Department.
New developments on a story we brought you earlier tonight. Police in Saratoga County say driving too fast caused a car accident that killed 2 teenagers. This happened on Route 32 in the town of Moreau. Police say Matthew Habshe of Gansevoort was driving his 2 friends, Brianna Diorio, also of Gansevoort, and Brandon Nelson of Queensbury. But just after noon, Habshe's car went off the road and hit a telephone pole. Habshe and Diorio died in that crash. Nelson was rushed to the hospital with head trauma. New at 11, News 10's Marie Luby spoke to their friends about the tragic loss.
The accident shut down traffic here for hours earlier today. You can see behind me where workers are still putting up a new utility pole. That's the spot where the car crashed into the old one.
She was like one of the nicest girls. She was very popular and everything.
It's how James McGowan remembers 15-year-old Brianna Diorio, seen on the left here with her best friend. Brianna's friends tell us she and her boyfriend, 17-year-old Brandon Nelson, were riding with Matt Habshe, also 17. They were on their way from Brianna's house to Matt's.
We believe speed was a factor. They came around a bend that was 30 miles an hour, and they lost control and they went off into a ditch, hit a tree, then they hit a telephone pole.
Brandon told rescuers he'd warned Matt to slow down just before the crash. Brianna and Matt were pronounced dead at the scene. Brandon was flown to Albany Medical Center.
She always helped me out with things when I was struggling.
James tells us he was with Brianna last night.
Just hanging out, listening to music and stuff, and then I headed home. And that's the last time I seen her.
And her best friend was with her just minutes before this happened. Now too upset to speak on camera. And we're told that 17-year-old boy who survived the crash was flown to Albany Medical Center just as a precaution because he had some minor head injuries.